Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have another very big and dynamic and combustible week of astrology coming in again. It just is what it is. We are in very transformative, very profound, very regenerative times right now. And it's like week after week, we just have these big, heavy hitting aspects firing off, causing all of these changes that are really trying to push us in a certain direction. This week, it happens to be Mercury coming into a conjunction with Mars, while both of them simultaneously form an exact square to Saturn in Aquarius. Action being limited, and we're talking about it, and it could cause a lot of frustration and eruptions going on this week. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, November 8th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And first of all, I have to apologize a little bit for my appearance today. I have been a little bit under the weather all weekend. I've had this like really annoying allergic reaction going on, and it's almost over. I actually, when I woke up this morning, wasn't even gonna make a video today. I was gonna take the day off, but then I looked at the astrology and here I am. So this is just gonna be a short report today. I'm not really feeling that great, but I wanted to give you guys the energetics of the day and lead into what is coming this week. Tomorrow and Wednesday are gonna be some really, really big energetic days, so I definitely didn't want to not do the report today considering what we have incoming, but I'm really just going to briefly talk about the energetics today and a little bit about what we have coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. So today, you guys, we have the sun at 17 degrees of Scorpio, that Sabian symbol or the energy of that degree described in a picture form so that we can get a better understanding of the underlying nature of this specific point in the sky and what the context of this specific aspect or the specific just degree being activated does in like helping us understand the unfolding of the energetics. It's the Sabian symbols. I always use them when I look at the energetics because they just give us more information about the purpose behind a planet at any specific degree and what, you know, that energetic that is being discharged is. And at 17 degrees of Scorpio today, that energetic being discharged by the sun is a woman filled with her own spirit, is the father of her own child. So you know, this is telling us generally today that we really need to have faith in ourselves and in God, spirit, universe, and know that we are being supported and that universe is working with us and through us right now to help us birth something brand new in our lives and our experiences moving forward, you know, through all of these changes that we're going through right now and heading into 2022, which is really going to be radically, fundamentally an entirely different energetic and entirely different experience for us that we have coming in. We also have the Earth today, which is always in a polar opposition to the sun at 17 degrees of Taurus. And that Sabian symbol is a symbolic battle between swords and torches. And this is the swords, the discipline of might, and torches, the discipline of enlightenment. And this is interesting that we have the Earth discharging this degree, what's happening on the ground, just leading into aspects this week that are very much about that same thing. Mars in a square to Saturn, this does also, to me, sort of symbolically bring up these themes of the battle between the swords and the torches. It'll be very interesting to see what unfolds this week with this Mars-Mercury-Saturn exact square that we have going on. Could be quite a bit of rebellion coming in against authority figures, leading to some type of very volatile, frustrating, heated circumstances. Possibly. This aspect could create a lot of tension. What else do we have? Today we have Mars at 7 degrees of Scorpio, Mars ruler of the current Scorpio cycle that we are in, our current lunar cycle, 7 degrees of Scorpio. This is deep sea divers, talking about, you know, again, going underneath the surface of things, digging down deep, all of these Scorpio themes that we've been dealing with since our new moon last week that was oppositional to Uranus. What really surprising things are we going to find under the surface when we dig down and go under the water underneath, you know, when we really go down deep, what are we going to find there? And how is it going to contribute to this Mercury, Mars, Saturn square that we have coming in tomorrow? And specifically Wednesday will be the very height of this particular aspect that we have coming in. So there are secrets being revealed to us, and they may cause some big levels of tension coming in this week. You know, in terms of the Sabian symbols, that is really what I wanted to address just specifically today. We really don't have any huge aspects or really any serious major aspects going on at all today, besides we have our moon in Capricorn making a trine to, or making a square actually to Chiron again in Aries. So today we could again be dealing with some of these issues related to where we've been wounded, you know, the pain that we've experienced, and, you know, emotionally that being brought up again today in the context of us really needing to emotionally align with the wisdom that we've gained through that experience. And what, I mean, the moon being in Capricorn as well, what changes do we need to make to our boundaries and to the foundations that we are laying, and the basic like foundations and groundwork of the circumstances in our lives? What adjustments do we need to make to take into consideration this wisdom, this healing process, this self-mastery that we're going through right now, the experience that the wisdom we've gained through our experience? What conflicts is this bringing up, and what is it showing us that we need to make adjustments to, again, in terms of the boundaries that we set for ourselves in our lives and new foundations that we are laying now for our life going forward? So there may be some just of this wound triggering coming up today as well, since we have the moon in Capricorn making a square to Chiron today. Chiron has been very active in the energetics lately. Mars was exactly in opposition to the Chiron point, which is the place in the sky where Chiron was discovered for this new moon in Scorpio, telling us that the Chiron themes, wounded, healer, teacher, archetype, the hero's journey, was going to be a fundamental part of this new moon in Scorpio cycle. A lot of things really driving us to realize the value that we have gained through all these difficult experiences that we've gone through, and the level of self-mastery that it's brought us to now, and what we are going to do with that going forward. So again, this whole Chiron theme energy being triggered and activated again today by the moon in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn is also speaking about Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, who is right now in a square to Mars and Mercury. Although, like I said, this is building and it won't be exact until Wednesday. So there may be just a more oppressive, heavy, frustrating energy going on right now. And we may feel really limited in the actions that we are trying to take today and this week, while this Mars-Mercury square Saturn aspect builds and comes to exactness. So, it's really like a double aspect that we have in play this week. We have Mercury coming into a conjunction with Mars. That in and of itself is a big aspect, and it can make us, Mercury conjunct Mars, this can give us more of a competitive nature. It can bring up arguments and debates, also like shows of force and assertiveness. And we need to really watch our ego when we have Mars in a conjunction with Mercury. And it can bring, irritability and some slicing words, cutting words, but it can also make us very assertive and very courageous and really want to speak our mind in a very passionate and willful and motivated way. There is a potential that there are some very passionate and willful, motivated, and potentially aggressive communications coming through, or information that we're finding out this week. I mean, Mars conjunct Mercury in Scorpio related to things that are exposed, that have been hidden. Like, this aspect in and of itself is like very explosive, because it's like Mars, the fire, the passion, the heat, the aggression, the ruler of the battlefield, in a conjunction with the messenger planet, Mercury, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, what we're learning as well. We could be learning some things that really light a fire under us with this aspect in effect. But then when we bring in simultaneously the square to Saturn, because they will both, Mars and Mercury will be in exact conjunction while they make the exact square together to Saturn, all at 8 degrees of Scorpio, 8 degrees of Aquarius. And this, Mars in square to Saturn on its own, this can create like a sense of blocked effort. Like I said, like feeling like your action is limited in some way, like you're stifled, like the things that you're putting effort and energy into are being like blocked or limited or frustrated, or they're just like not being able to move forward for some reason. And when we have Mars in a square to Saturn, you know, it's in our best interest to really proceed slowly and with caution with this. But while we have Mercury in a conjunction with Mars, this is like everything being heated up. This is like Mercury is the planet that rules speed. And so this is like, you know, really wanting to take and say some like very impulsive things. But with the square to Saturn, this is asking us, like I said, to, you know, go slowly and deliberately and practically and with caution and pay attention to details. The more thoroughly and carefully, actually, that you perform any task when there's Mars in square to Saturn, the greater likelihood you have of experiencing some type of success. Anything that we're just sort of like bombastic with, or just like a bull in a china shop, or just like speak before you think type of thing. And that is also Mars and Mercury, very much like speaking before you think. And when we have that going on in the square to Saturn, it could potentially create just some not the best results, because Saturn really wants us to be slow and deliberate and thorough and think everything through. And Mars and Mercury doesn't want to do that at all. It wants to get it out, whatever is on his mind, like really fast right now, very passionately, very heated. So this is really creating this inherent conflict. It'll be interesting to see what unfolds under these energetics this week. Also, you guys, Mars rules the police, the military, and Saturn rules the authorities over those things, like the higher ups in the police and the military, the ones who give the orders, the ones who give the rules. And it is very possible with these energetics, with this aspect of Mars, especially with Mercury in the square to Saturn, that we could potentially see some military and police not following orders this week. Like that would be a very indicated like occurrence that could potentially happen with Mars and Mercury in a square to Saturn. This is also, you know, internal frustrations, internal anger from being held back from trying to pursue something or talk about something that we are very passionate about. There could be like some extreme forms of censorship or something going on this week, but definitely the people, Mars, the people that are feeling inspired and passionate and motivated to stand up for themselves and to stand in their power may definitely be having some clashes with authority going on this week. And like I said, I would not be surprised if we hear about some like police or military or something along those lines standing down, like resisting orders, like not following the orders of their higher ups or their authorities, especially with Mercury in conjunction as well. Very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what transpires with this week, especially in the context of we are in this new moon cycle right now that was in exact opposition to Uranus. Expect the unexpected going on all week. And Saturn is in Aquarius right now. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, but Uranus also rules Aquarius too. So this square is happening out of Uranus's sign. And Mars is the ruler. It's happening with Mars, and Mars is the ruler of this Scorpio cycle. So, you know, expect the unexpected this week. Definitely a more tense and heated atmosphere. People who are feeling very, like I said, motivated and passionate about something, and simultaneously very constricted and limited and frustrated, and being able to express that or to act on it. And just this square, something pushing us to make some type of a breakthrough happening in Scorpio and Aquarius, things that have been hidden, things that have been going on under the surface, things that have been happening in the dark up against the sign that is really about the higher and the greater good of all and the future. And so it seems as though, you know, especially with Mercury and Mars there, we could get some information that causes a lot of conflict or that really riles people up and simultaneously makes them want to act in some type of a way, defy orders, defy rules, defy authority, and simultaneously that same authority really clamping down and trying to limit the action of the Mars and Mercury expression that is trying to take place. So it's just, you know, it'll be very interesting, like I said, to see how this week plays out in the context of these energetics and in the context of this new moon in Scorpio cycle that we're in now. Now, in terms of the tarot today, I did do cards this morning, and this is what came out when I asked for a message from Spirit to clarify where the collective is at right now. The first card that came out was the Four of Pentacles in reverse. This, you know, this means that we are letting go of something. Collectively, we are at a point where we are no longer holding on to something for dear life. We are ready to let something that we have been holding on to for dear life go. And then the next card that came out when I asked for clarity on what we're letting go was the Ten of Cups in reverse. And this card in reverse, you know, this is the card of ultimate love and ultimate fulfillment and happiness. And when it's in reverse, this is talking about the lack of those things or being in a state where we cannot achieve this unlimited happiness, this unlimited love, this unlimited fulfillment. So when, you know, these two cards are together, it's really saying we are at a point collectively right now moving into this week where we are ready to let go of the things that we've been holding on to that have not led to the level of happiness and fulfillment that we had hoped that they would. And then on the back of the deck, just to give us some more context in what this is referring to, it is talking about the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups, this is like emotional immaturity and just like a very small, not, I mean, he's got a fish in his cup. Like it's not like a serious offer. Like it's like a very small offer that isn't that like fulfilling or beneficial in any type of way, like a lot of emotional immaturity. So it's like as a collective today, moving into this week where we are at in this new moon process right now, and after everything that's transpired the past couple weeks, especially with that big Pluto Mars square that we had going on, it's like collectively we are finally at the point where we are ready to release the things that we've been holding on to that are not giving us the level of happiness, joy, love, and fulfillment that we need or that we really truly desire. And it's because, you know, the offer is just not enough. It's not doing anything to benefit us anymore. We can't do anything with it, and it's just too immature for where we're at right now, where we've grown and the wisdom we've gained through experience and the changes that this is having on the way that we are interacting and perceiving reality right now, and what we are realizing we truly want for our lives going forward. So it looks like humanity collectively is at a point right now where we are finally able to let go of some of the things that we've been holding on to that we've loved, but that we are realizing, you know, are just never going to lead to that ultimate fulfillment that our soul is truly after at this point in time. So interesting. Now, real quick, I am going to pull a synchronicity card for all of us today. This is a message from Spirit that, you know, whenever you're watching this, if you happen to come across this video, this is just a little bit of, you know, insight or wisdom that universe wants us to know to help us navigate through whatever's going on today. So let's see what we get. And we'll go with this card. It's so weird, you guys. I think this is the exact same card, Attitude Adjustment. I can't remember if this was the card I got Friday, but this was the same card. I got this card last week also. And that's just so crazy because there's like, look at all of these cards. Look at all of these possibilities. You guys just watched me shuffle those. So apparently this is still something that is relevant to us and that we need to be paying attention to. And it says attitude adjustment. If you knew the gift of God, you would accept the living water, John 4:10. You are refusing to accept truths of your own psychological capacity to be independent and free from limitation, trouble, pain, and misery. See inspiration, truth, healing, guidance, or whatever else you need to renew, or whatever else you need for your spiritual growth and renewal. And this is happening, you know, especially with the energy that we had coming in last week, and all of these big, all of this Chiron emphasis, and the new moon in Scorpio in opposition to Uranus, making adjustments, wisdom gained through experience, changing our viewpoint, changing our perspective. We really are, I mean, this really is what we all need to be doing right now, is really going through a collective attitude adjustment. And that really is kind of what the cards are talking about too. Finally coming to a place where we've adjusted ourselves and our perspective and our viewpoint and our attitude, and we're ready to let go of the things that we know are not going to lead to that authentic fulfillment, because they're not based on a genuine offer. You know, we're maturing, we're growing up, and we're moving on from, you know, the offers that lack what can truly lead to that genuine, authentic fulfillment. And attitude adjustment is the advice of the day. And it's probably some good advice moving into this Mercury-Mars conjunction tomorrow. You know, we really need to keep our egos in check with this, because with Mercury and Mars in conjunction, Mars rules the ego. Mercury rules what we're saying, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about. We really need to be not asserting ourselves and starting fights and conflicts and debates in order to defend our ego. We really need to make sure that we have gone through this attitude adjustment, and the things that we're passionate about, the things that we're fighting for, the things that we are you know, motivated to assert ourselves about and to really swing the sword about this week, are things that have been blocking our true authentic growth and fulfillment, and have not been honoring our true authentic internal nature. That is what needs to go right now. It's really not about us like asserting our dominance or asserting our ego or being like pushy and selfish and arrogant. That is not what this energy is about. And, you know, with Saturn in the square, that's a lot of that is really going to get slapped down as well, just because that's what Saturn does. It doesn't have time or patience for that nonsense, especially in Aquarius, you know, generally about the greater good, the greater whole. But, yeah, stifled action, limited action, frustrated actions that we're trying to take this week, and some aspect of what we're learning, what we're hearing, what we're understanding, what we're communicating being in this mix as well. So attitude adjustment is probably some really good advice for all of us moving into this energy. And that's what I have for my video today. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if I'm like off today and not my best self. Like I said, I really wasn't planning on making a video today, but here I am. So I did. So I thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm so happy to have you, and thank you so much for those of you who come back with me every day or daily, weekly basis to check out these energetics. And please come back with me tomorrow. I will be back here. Hopefully I will be back to my normal self as well, and we have some really big days energies to talk about coming in tomorrow. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.